on? What's up? You know what time it is. It's time for the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside James Hicks. He will be in shortly, but we're starting on time today. But he'll be in shortly. But we're broadcasting live from Houston, Texas. But it comes. The feed go out all over the world via Facebook Live and YouTube Live. And this great day is a baby Friday. They so affectionately call Thursday. And my starting five, that heralded group that starts off the show, and the first people that are on the Facebook feed or sign up to the YouTube feed, and they got a little counter that shows me who comes on first. We got Sonia Billingsley. We got Kim Jackson. Derek Johnson, I got to talk to you later. I'm messaging you. Martin Vaughn, Rod Wells, and our sixth man of the year of the day is Todd Holmes. What's up, everybody? Hey, y'all. I know y'all saw it. Daryl Morey. What's up? Sick Rick, Lil Rick. Hey, Marcus Catchings, Rod Wells. Who else we got? Tiffany Saunders. Hey, Mindy. Daryl Morey got fired. Mindy. I just said that it's some people that just didn't think he would get fired. And right before this show became on, I think Jimmy's ready now. Right before the show came on, I know he didn't get fired. Okay, they said he stepped down. Now, talking about Daryl Morey, Jimmy, I know you just chimed in. Let me add something to y'all now. They say he would stay on as an advisory position. Hold up, Jimmy. An advisory position doing the finding of a new general manager to take his place. Excuse me, I'm talking about a new coach. But it's odd, man. It's just, I know some people just thought this would never happen, but it happened. He stepped down. And what's so ironic about it, ladies and gentlemen, after these interviews, it didn't happen before the interviews. You had other coaches come in with other. It just sounds a little fishy to me. Listen to me. I haven't researched it, so I'm just going by just stuff that I've already known about. I have not researched it, but I am very curious about, after all of these interviews, then he's saying he stepped down. Did he agree with the owner? Something happened. Y'all help me. I'm gonna need the boom boom room today. Y'all got to help me with this today. And Jimmy, we got a lot of takes. You know, the Astros won last night. I was cheering. Oh, let me tell you something. I was cheering for them dudes last night, man. I didn't realize they was going home after this. I didn't want them to go home, y'all. I might not. Most of the part of me is not that I just don't like the Astro. It's just that little cheating scandal. It just hasn't resonated with me yet. So I'm trying to reconcile the cheating. Okay, that's where I'm at right now. Reconcile the cheating. But then them Dodgers. Oh my God! Hold up, y'all. The Dodgers whooped somebody so bad last night. Even the Dodger hater, the whoever team Robert Hatter hater, he had to text me and say something about that. I didn't even know what was happening, y'all. I didn't even know the game was on. I didn't know the game was on. I didn't even know what he was talking about.
Hey. Let's stop right now. First, let's get to the Houston Rockets situation. Daryl Morey. Obviously, remember I told you just certain things is just common sense. Now, one thing that I kept every piece of info and intel that I get, I don't run and just throw it in the boom boom room. I don't just run and throw it in the VIP news. That's that's how you become a good, credible source. I mean, you don't give everything. Now here's what I did here. Here's what I did here last week. Now I can get this up now. I heard that there was a deal being struck somehow, a deal, part of a trade that would that would land Daryl Morey in Philadelphia. I didn't get no more or no less than that. Now I got this last week. That means when and that comes from the good side. Let's put it like this. Just say like the other day, we all got a word of Russell Westbrook. It became public, being shopped, possibly shopped for trading and trade by the Rockets. Well, when that stuff reach the source or reach the object, it can piss you off because you're thinking you're safe. And it finds out nobody's safe. Russell, ain't but one person that was safe with the Houston Rockets, and that was James Harden. And that, understand, until, and everybody has a price where the problem is no longer, the problem becomes greater than the talent.
James ain't no problem.
I'm just saying, everybody has a point when the problem becomes greater than the talent. Game 6 of the Laker game, from what I understand, was the only game that was televised in China this year. China broke their stance and televised that Laker game to get some of that good bread out of that. Now let's back to this Daryl Morey thing. Daryl Morey had been involved in interviews, right? So obviously, it had to be a point during some of these interviews that whoever you riding with, me as the owner, ain't ready to co-sign. Even though I done told y'all publicly, I'm not, it's going to be his decision. That's what good owners supposed to do. That's what Jerry Jones needs to probably start taking a note of. And just act, even though you in control, let the public know, hey, that guy is in charge of doing that. Now, I understand. Everybody inside the loop knows. But understand what's going on. The Rockets were nearing to making a decision. Now, it will come out over the next 72 hours. I can freaking guarantee you that. It will come out. Whomever Daryl Morey was willing to co-sign, you can rest assured, bet your sweet fanny, that the owner of the team was not willing to co-sign. And that means you're stripping me of my power that I thought I had. And at some point, you'd be like, and you can just imagine this conversation can go sideways. You say, you know what, man, I don't need this shit. Well, hey, get the hell up out of here. What's going on then? And then guess what, next thing you know, that's kind of what happens. Similar conversation with Doc Rivers. They had a conversation, what I understand. And that purpose, you going into a meeting is just to get some things straight, just to figure out some stuff where y'all stand. And while y'all talking, somebody don't like somebody's tone. And then something slip out and it sounds like you talking to me like I'm a boy. Or your boy. And then guess what? It ain't about the other stuff no more. It's about this. And now, guess what? Next thing you know, you done made a decision or said something that you can't go back on. This smells. We all done been in the kitchen. Trust me, I don't eat pig feet, but I promise you, if I walk into your house and that smell hit my nose, I hadn't smelled it in a while, but I know what the hell in that pot and I know what that is. Ooh, let me turn back around. I'm going back outside. You ever been there when you cook? Hella, you eat them chillins?
Yes, sir. I don't eat pork anymore,
folk, we don't even pronounce the T's no more. There's no T's we pronounce it down south.
Jimmy, I got to get in these tight shirts, Jimmy. I can't afford to eat that. I mean, the older I got, the more wiser I got. Y'all remember just yesterday, I gave a great, we eat all of this bad food and then tell me the devil got me sick. Let me tell you something. Eat better and you'll feel better. You feel revigorated. But Jimmy, I love what my brother Porter said. He said I was hearing Harden wanted Ty Lue and Morey wanted Jeff Van Gundy.
No, now that part is true, right? Remember, but we talking about the owner. The owner wasn't ready to co-sign whoever he was ready to.
Yes,
wasn't ready to co-sign that loan.
Yes,
not who James Harden wanted or didn't want. I'm telling you about the owner. Understand, this man has been through a lot for Tito this year, financially. Lake Charles just took another hit. Just when people start going to the casino, sneaking in there, he just took another hit down in the casino. I mean, dude,
I tried to tell you that, but you talking about he can get money from other places.
No. He did get money from the government and stimulus money. And that, understand though, still.
I'm talking about to pay for go over the salary cap. I was talking about the salary cap.
No, I mean, but if you're doing well and you're winning, you're willing to do whatever it takes. Kind of like, ball till you fall, but you're not winning. You're not in that position. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got a rubber band around your stack. You got your stuff got a paper, got a money clip on it. And the difference between a money clip and a rubber band, money clip only gonna hold so much. A rubber band, depending on what kind of band you got, you can wrap that thing around and be wrapping it right. You don't gotta give what I'm talking about. But
wrap it around wrap it around till it break.
To break. But for a lot of people, this is good news. It's a zero-sum game, and I'm blurring on you guys right now. Hopefully, I'm not. You guys can hear me. It's a zero-sum game.
You sound good.
Meaning that for every winner there's a loser, and for every loser there's a winner. For every person is going to help and benefit, because now what this means is it's a different direction.
Of course.
When you go different directions,
different philosophy
of this much magnitude, it's almost impossible for this team to be in position to win a championship next year.
Nah, I disagree.
No, Hal.
Totally disagree.
You got to bring in unless you're going to pull what the Clippers try to do with what they did with Doc Rivers and let your coach be your GM, and that ain't happening.
No, it's all right.
That means you're gonna have a different ideology.
Wait a minute.
Coming in.
Number one, I never said they was gonna make. I always tell you I didn't never say they was a championship team. I always said I like what? James Harden. There you go, Jimmy. That's why I was asking you about your headphones. If you can, we'll work it out during the break. But now I can start echoing just a little bit. But James, I was telling y'all about. I lost my train of thought. But it's so unique. But I think it's possible for them to be just as good because you got good players in this league. You just got to have good players. You're gonna win some games when you got the most good players. Winning a championship, Robert Hatter never said nothing about the Rockets winning the championship. Ever did I say they finna win a championship. I don't go there because I know
it ain't you. I'm telling you about the makeup of the team. Because put it like this: New Jersey Nets got a new coach, right? They're putting themselves in position. Whoever came in there with championship aspirations this year.
Jimmy, they got two of the best players in the world. You're supposed to.
Okay, so do the Rockets.
They got the two best. No. One of those players were injured. Russell Westbrook is not considered one of the best players in the world right now.
Why is he not? By whom is he not?
He ain't playing. See, Jimmy, I don't even want to get in this argument. Just keep on. Go with your narrative. Just go with your narrative. Go with your narrative. I done been here. I'm not going down this rabbit hole with you again. I'm just not going down.
29, 8, and 7.
I'm just not going down that rabbit hole with you. I'm sorry.
He's not considered one of the best. Come on,
sorry. I'm just sorry. I'm just sorry.
What you're doing is just say he didn't have a season in the postseason or most of the way, but he still averaged 29 points a game, 8. I think it was 29, 8, and 7 this year. That is phenomenal. But he's done it. You're talking about
in the playoffs.
MVP.
You know what, man? You know what? For some people, playoffs important. I hate to even go here. Now you talking about what he averaged? I'm talking about the playoffs. He was hurt. He did not play like a top player. I don't care what you say. I don't care how many you say. I don't care how much you say he averaged in the regular season. He averaged 29 points in the regular. Guess what? He got a teammate that averaged 40 in the regular season, but y'all said it don't matter. It don't matter. The regular season don't matter. But now you're going to say the regular season does matter.
No,
Come on.
For some people, the expectations are different. For certain people, it's different between when you're a superstar. When you are a superstar in the NBA, the expectations are different. It's different.
I understand that. I understand that.
For example, but in the playoffs,
I'm telling you is the Rockets, I don't care how, James Harden, and I said this, and you come talking about I was talking about Daniel House. I said the way this team is constructed, if Daniel House have to start, it's not a championship team. I said that. But you talking about Daniel House. I said a championship team. And that's all I'm saying. I'm talking about, and you just said the Rockets will not be able to compete for a championship if they get another GM. Why not?
No. I didn't say they would compete for a championship. I say the team, because there's too many missing variables that once you replace, you got to replace the GM. You got to you're replacing the head coach, different ideology, different relationship, different level of trust. So that means if players buying into you, they're fighting for you.
They're going to win 50-some games because James Harden on that team.
No, not exactly. James Harden is not the only reason that they won 50-some games. Collectively, Russell Westbrook had a spurt last season during he took the steering wheel for the Rockets at a certain spurt. And everybody know that James Harden did well in the regular season, but don't discount Russell Westbrook. He did well at some point. We've been waiting, and Russell Westbrook stepped up, and he became.
You didn't hear what I just said. Because I promote another player, I'm not like you in these evaluators. When I promote and say something good about another player, that don't mean I'm damning him. I said you can win 50 games with James Harden. I didn't say nothing about you had to come with Russell Westbrook. I'm not down in Russell Westbrook. I'm just telling you, if Russell wasn't here, you can win 50 games with James Harden. Because guess what? Russell wasn't here the year before. Won over 50 games. Russell wasn't here again.
You had a Chris Paul. You make it seem like it's James Harden.
You didn't hear me.
That's another Hall of Famer.
You didn't.
That's James Harden plus another Hall of Famer.
You did not hear what I said. I said, if James Harden is on this team, we're going to win 50 games. I didn't say who else. Who else on the team? If James Harden on the team, it's a 50 games. They're going to win 50 games. I'm just telling you. This is the way I feel about it. Hey, and guess what? Go look at the record.
Yeah.
Go look at the record.
Yeah, and you'll see a Hall of Famer in every one of those years that he won 50 games with the Rock. It was another player on that roster that's a Hall of Famer.
Okay. Michael Jordan had a Hall of Fame on every one of his championship teams.
Russell Westbrook has proven that he can win 50 games without a Hall of Famer on the side of him.
Unbelievable. You got, boy, my goodness, boy. Oh, my God. It's just it's pouring out of your pores. I never said nothing about nobody else. I just said, you saying these Rockets going to be like dismal because they get a GM that ain't gonna shoot not now damn jump shot, not one jump shot, and a damn coach who ain't gonna shoot one damn jump shot. We got players on this team that knows how to play. Eric Gordon know how to play. He just physically not able to help you. Russell Westbrook knows how to play, but he wasn't physically able to help you at the end of the season. Because ain't nowhere in the world these boys supposed to let Denver ever beat them doing nothing. So, and we only talk about James. But I just don't like the fact that you sit here and say, because they're getting a new coach who ain't got to do diddly, what you said, he ain't got to do diddly squat, and a new general manager. You remember, I told y'all, NBA is a players' league. If LeBron James don't come to LA, do you think LA would be hoisting that trophy? It's players. I keep trying to tell y'all, you worry about who the GM and who this guy gonna be. It's players.
What's the role of the GM, Adam? What's the primary role of a general manager in NBA basketball? What's the primary role?
You give me your definition.
No. We asking you because that means you made.
No. Give me your definition.
You know what? I don't even know what the role is. So tell me what the role is. I'm gonna sit back here. I'm asking for a friend. I'm asking for 3 friends. What's the role of the GM in the program? What do they do?
Hey, we'll tell you after the break.
Just told you a little while ago, these leaders that they call leaders, this included Lena Horne, this included Dick Gregory, and this included comedians, comics, trumpet players, baseball players. Show me in the white community where a comedian is a white leader. Show me in the white community where a singer is a white leader, or a dancer or a trumpet player is a white leader. These aren't leaders. These are puppets and clowns that have been set up over the white community and over the black community by the white community and have been made celebrities and usually say exactly what they know that the white man wants to hear.
I'd like to point out, though, that...
I say that because it is usually if you study the structure of the Negro community, economically, politically, civically, psychologically, and otherwise, it's controlled by the white liberal, who usually poses as the friend of the Negro, who actually differs from the white conservative in the same way that the fox differs from the wolf. I'm suspicious of whites who join Negroes and always have to be in the lead, who always have to be the head, who always have to be at the top in Negro organizations. Those whites who really have the interest of blacks at heart, let them give some advice to some Negroes and stand on the sideline. But don't join the organization and then get at the head of it and pose as a friend of Negroes.
Today, you could point to a large number of Negro leaders who have consistently betrayed Negroes in a whole host of areas.
They aren't really Negro leaders. These are puppets that have been put in front of the Negro community by white liberals. These are parrots that have been put in front of the Negro community by white liberals. You can't name me a Negro leader who has betrayed Negroes, who has not been endorsed, sanctioned, subsidized, and supported by the white liberal.
Welcome back to the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim Hicks, coming to you live from Houston, Texas. And we are broadcasting on Facebook Live and YouTube Live simultaneously all over the world. And let me tell you something. This show is brought to you by the Cox Pradia Law Firm. Jonathan Cox and Troy Pradia, 2 young men from the Houston area, went to school in Houston and got one of the #1 black-owned personal injury practices in the state of Texas. I mean, call them. I mean, what's Jimmy? You can reach him at www.coxpradialawfirm.com. Reach him at 713-752-2300. and www.bigcityaccidents.com. Tell them the Chop Shop sent you. Whatever your needs are legal-wise, tell them the Chop Shop sent you, and I promise you they're going to take care of you. But where else we got? We were talking about Daryl Morey, and Jimmy asked me a question, and I hope he done went in Google what he need the information about, what he need to know about a general. What I was trying to say, if you just tune in, that in the NBA, this is a players' league. Okay, that means the players control it. That means the players. The players control this league. We got a guy who got fired. Check this out. Got fired from Indianapolis. The coach, and then he got picked up by the Lakers. And LeBron is now on his team, and he win a championship. So it had nothing to do with Rob Pelinka. Well, Rob Pelinka, he did the deal, and that's what general managers do. They oversee the coaching staff, they hire and fire the coaching staff, and they also they oversee a staff of salary cap crunchers, so they can get within the salary cap and acquire and trade players. That's the responsibility of a general manager. That's the responsibility. Okay. So, but in this NBA, the team that won the championship this year had LeBron James on it. LeBron James was hurt last year. The team that won it a couple of years before that, Kevin Durant and Stephen Curry was on it. Then the team that won it last year, Kawhi Leonard. This NBA, you said soon the Rockets going to be in disarray. I mean, no, they don't have no championship aspirations because they don't have a coach and they don't have a GM. And all I said was James Harden on that team, they're going to be all right. And that's all I said, and I'll stand by it. It's Baby Friday. I'll stand by it. Anything else? Or we can move on to the next subject.
Man, props to Raphael Stone and becoming the 10th black GM in the NBA with the Rockets right now. So give a shout out to Raphael Stone. Now, I don't know Raphael Stone, but the thing is, he's another black that has an opportunity to win his way into the game. And when I say into the game, into as a permanent fixture. And so all eyes will be on him. He's now, don't get it twisted, he's one of those analytics guys, from what I understand as well, which most nowadays everybody has to have. You can't ignore it. You just don't subscribe totally to it as 100%, as some people may have done in those roles. But bottom line is, he has an opportunity, and we'll see and be rooting for him to see how he is perceived and how he does and progresses over the next few months up to a couple of years, depending on how it goes. You know how this stuff is. So that's in regard to the Rockets talk. Shortly, we'll be joined, as you guys know, it's Baby Friday, and we around about half past the hour, which we are right now. Adam Coleman comes and joins us and gives us a dose of what's been happening in the high school ranks around the greater Houston area. He's going to come in shortly. He's running a little tardy right now. Meanwhile, we squeeze in time to recap these Houston Astros from yesterday. 4-3, they win over the Tampa Bay Rays, and to stay alive in that best of 7 series. Do we think that the Houston Astros can win 4 straight? Well, now 3 straight. They will play today. I think the first pitch I want to say is I don't want to say the wrong time. I just want you guys to get it up for me. I want to think it's around 4 o'clock or whatnot. I don't know if this Eastern or Central. But Astros, once again, yesterday I watched that game. Altuve set the tone. Do you guys realize Altuve has 3 home runs in his first at bat in these 4 games they've played Tampa Bay? 3 home runs in the first at bat. Remember, Altuve at one point, I think, used to lead off for the Astros. So his fire is offsetting a lot of his errors on the other. Don't get it twisted. His errors have cost the Astros dearly. They're supposed to be 2-2 at the worst right now. Maybe even 3-1 Astros. But it ain't. I like the Astros pitching again yesterday. I like what Springer came back to. Springer, man, do you realize Springer and Altuve both had a sometimes we watching this stuff and it seemed like just yesterday they came about. They both have 18 home runs in the postseason, not this postseason, in their career. To put that stuff in perspective, they're tied for 5th place. So they're battling with each other. That's good. Good competitive locker room battle between, you know how they go, man.
They could have went home last night, but keep going. And could have went home last night. But keep going. Yeah.
Could have, would have, should have.
Yeah.
Hell, Miami, he could have went home. It was 92 in the fourth quarter.
No, I'm just saying, all them home runs they hitting in 5th and all of that, they could have went home last night. But keep going.
But could have, but they did not. They didn't. And that's what that was a gutsy performance. And once again, 18 postseason home runs. To put this thing in perspective, what we're watching right now, they're tied for 5th place with Mickey Mantle and Reggie Jackson of all time home runs. All time. So that means chances are they both will pass them on those charts. Not to make, and both Springer and Altuve are both Hall of Famers. They're both Hall of Famers. Sure, they won't get all of the votes that they're probably going to need, but they will get 75% of the vote. They will get in. Because you know why? This is just like this, unlike the steroid era, this era right here, people know there were a lot of guys on a lot of teams that the Yankees, the Red Sox, that were cheating as well. Just didn't get caught as much as the Astros did, or didn't have the media to protect them as the Astros did not have. Now back to this thing right here. I'm gonna tell you something. They're down 3-1 right now. It ain't but one team in history that's ever came back from being down 0-3 in a 7-game series, and that was the Red Sox back in 2004. But if the Astros wins today, it's game 7 for the Astros. It's game 5 for Tampa Bay. We jump out on their butt again early today. Right? I think in this game 5, 3, 4, 5, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1. I think it goes back to Tampa. I think Tampa Bay would bat. Who batted first yesterday? Tampa Bay batted first. So I think Houston would bat first today, if I'm not mistaken.
This one guy from Tampa Bay, like I told you, Randy, I can't stand when he come to the plate.
Randy?
Yes. I don't know his last name. He got that funny last name. Every time that man stepped to the plate, man, I just said, wow. He like, that's the one who passed by them when he hit the home run and said, yeah. I got their number. Jimmy, what his name? Randy? I can't think of it.
Arozarena.
Whatever it is. I can't pronounce it. But he is flat-foot unbelievable. Okay. That's close. That was close. No, that's not De La Rosa. No, it's Jimmy, what you said? Arozarena.
Yeah.
Arozarena. That dude, that guy.
He's a rookie.
Yeah, that's it. He just got so much confidence. He's from Cuba too, Jimmy. From Cuba.
He's one of 5 Cubans in this series.
He just got so much swagger. And so when he comes to the dugout, how he be telling them folks like, yeah, I'm a rookie, but I'm supposed to be here. I'm scared of him every time he come to bat. So if he not batting, I'm good. But when he batting, I got some problems. But hurry up and let's get past these guys so we can talk about Mookie.
It was something else that I had from yesterday. Tyler Glasnow was on the mound for Tampa Bay. That pitcher that started for Tampa Bay. I'm gonna give you a stat about him.
Okay.
To put this in perspective.
Okay.
They had not lost Tampa Bay in the last 11 times that Glasnow started a game. They had not lost 11 times. They had not lost in the last 11 times he had started a game. His understand. I got so many different stats on him. Let's just skirt past him. And also, let's give in this win, give credit to Dusty Baker. One thing about Dusty Baker, man, Dusty Baker, he had to make decisions. Remember, Greinke was on the ropes, They had a run on third. Tampa Bay did. Dusty had a chance to take him out. Many coaches would have took him out. He said, man, you know what? I'm going to gamble, lead this dude in. Get the strikeout. Close out the side. Did it again in the ninth inning. Tampa Bay making a run. He made a decision. You know what? He put Presley in. Presley makes me nervous every time he touched the mound. Remember now, without our closer.
I thought Presley's supposed to be good.
Yeah, but no. But remember, our closer, our real closer is he got hurt. He's out. I like a little dude, not Javier. Javier did good yesterday. But the little one that was warming up, and they had it warming up in the bullpen, the Dominican.
I don't know.
I can't, his name start with a P. You guys help me out. I like him.
You know what I like? And we got a pitcher name. Do we have a pitcher name? I mean, do the Astros, I said we. Do the Astros have a pitcher named Alvarez?
Your name, yeah.
Alvarez, right? I kind of like him a little bit.
He's out.
That's the one that's out?
That's the closer.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay. How long he been out?
He out for the year.
See, I don't keep up with the Astros at all,
man.
I tell you. That's the only guy I liked on y'all team.
That's what I'm saying. We done lost him and we lost Verlander.
Other than Verlander. Okay. So, in other words, Dusty Baker, if Dusty Baker get through this here, he done did like you done did, like grandma do those quilts. Just get any piece of and stitch it together so it can be a nice quilt.
Say, man, you know what? And guess what? Dusty Baker made another comment after the game yesterday. He said, we ain't ready to go home. He said, we ready to go to Dallas. That's what Dusty Baker be talking that good old time, that domino smack. That's like at the domino table. And we ain't ready to go home.
Yeah.
We ready to go to Dallas. Know what's in Dallas? The World Series.
And got a ball in his back pocket and a joint.
You know what? Dusty, I'm putting him on my bucket list. I'm going to call Darryl Wade. And when this season is over with, I'm going to say, Darryl Wade, I swear to you, whoever got the next cookout, put me there with Dusty. Put me at the domino table, at the card table, bid whist table with Dusty. Hey, I drink scotch. I know he's like a scotch drinker. That's like the kind of guy.
Hey, Dusty, the type of dude look like he drank. He'll tell you what you want to drink, Dusty, long as it's wet. That's the kind of guy he seems like. Long as it's wet, I'm drinking.
Hey, and guess what? And I'm looking in the timeline, and Rick Brown say Dusty be killing me with them wristbands. And
I ain't never looked at no wristband.
I'm gonna take you one further. Watch Dusty today. Not only do he wear wristbands, like wristbands normally for when you start sweating, but it's kind of chilly on that.
Oh, he be sweating a lot though. I see him wiping his face off a lot.
But that's what wristbands are normally for. But baseball players wear caps. Watch Dusty on his right arm. He's gonna have a throwing sleeve on his arm. Ain't nothing gonna be on the left arm.
Hold up.
I swear to God,
No. Don't do Dusty like that. See, we may have some young people on there. Dusty used to be a player. He used to be a bad dude as a player too. Now, Don't get it
Yeah,
twisted.
they kicked the Astros ass back in '86.
Okay, now.
Fernando Valenzuela on the mound.
Jimmy, former players can wear a sleeve, but scrubs shouldn't be wearing no
They
sleeves.
didn't even make sleeves back then. They wasn't wearing sleeves back then.
I know.
So what the hell Dusty got a sleeve
Because
on?
he didn't get wet. He couldn't wear them back then because you didn't have them. He said, if I was up here, I have me a sleeve on. If I was playing.
I swear to God, dude, Dusty. But why not two sleeves? Dusty got the compression sleeve. Now maybe he might have some stuff, some blood thinner, need some stuff on his, his blood or something, or circulation. Maybe. And I hope that's it. Because if I ever see Dusty in person, which I am. Hell, we going back to the Minute Maid next season.
Jimmy, I'm not going into that virus is up.
Next year it'll be up. We'll be in there. Hell, dude, do you realize they had 20,000 fans in Dallas at the Atlanta Brave game yesterday? I
got 2 words for them. Damn fools. But keep going.
They was up in there. But I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna ask Dusty, what the hell you had that sleeve on? And the press room probably gonna fall out. I'm gonna say, what that mean? Tell us what they got on there. But anyway, that's that game. But speaking of,
Jimmy,
the Dodgers,
okay,
in Dallas,
okay,
11 runs in the first inning, set a Major League Baseball record for the most runs in the first inning of a postseason game. And ironically, Atlanta just a year ago had gave up 10 runs in the first inning. In the game, they got eliminated. And but the Dodger team, time would tell in a few hours, they play this evening, if that game was the turnaround game. Remember, Atlanta Braves pitching had been masterful. They had won 7 straight games, guys. Atlanta, going into yesterday, they had won 7 straight in the postseason. Had been kicking butt. And this was one of those punches, whereas just when you thought LA could have been dead down 3-0, they didn't just win, they knocked Atlanta out. However, let me tell you something, be advised. Take that first inning. Major League Baseball players, they are professionals at leaving the inning in the past inning. This was the first inning. The rest of that game was 4-3. So you think about it. I'm just telling you how you break that down easily. It wasn't like they kept cracking heads. They knocked the opening.
Jimmy, they didn't. What, you want them to get to 1,000? Come on, man. I mean, come on, man.
No, what I'm saying is, no, that's how you do in baseball. You take that.
Wait a minute. Did they hit enough to win? Did they get enough to win?
That wasn't. Understand. You can win and you can defeat. They didn't defeat.
So what would a defeat been? Tell me what a defeat would be.
Defeat means you defeating your soul.
Tell me the number that you feel.
You win.
Tell me the number that you feel that would have humiliated Atlanta.
No. It's not a score. It's not the score. It's the meaning. I'm saying that's 1 inning. The preceding 8 innings afterwards. You scored 4, I scored 3.
It don't matter.
No. In baseball, that's momentum. That means now it ain't nothing terribly wrong. That pitcher, I wouldn't put his ass on the mound no more this series. Right. I think that's his name, who lost the game for Atlanta.
Hey,
I would not put him on the mound.
Okay, so players, hold on. Players that's up by that amount, you mean they don't have a mental letdown either? No, what do you mean? What do you mean? The players that are up by that amount? The players who were up so much.
In this case, you're talking about the
Dodgers. Couldn't they just? Just mentally, man, I'm whooping these dudes behind. Is it possible that they had a? You know what I'm saying? A mental lap. That's all I'm saying.
So here's the thing. No, when you're having fun, like they did in that first inning, it's contagious. You're having fun. You're on to a certain pitcher. They left him in, hoping he can get. It was 2 outs when they got a lot of these runs. They were hoping that you're guessing and you're gambling if you're the Atlanta manager, saying we just need 1 out. We're down 4-0. We're down 5-0. Just get this 1 out. We'll deal with the rest. Then next thing you know, a grand slam come. Then now the thing just explodes. And
there's no grand slam come in this game. Didn't no Grand Slam come in this game?
Granny didn't come in the game yesterday?
I'm talking about for the other team. I'm talking about for the
Dodgers.
But you know what, though?
I'm talking about the Dodgers.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You're talking about the Dodgers. I just think the
they
Dodgers
the guy out of he gave about 6 runs. Then they came in, and the next guy they brought in, hell, he gave up 5 runs. I'm just saying. So in that same first inning,
I looked at their bench, and they seemed to be very casual on that bench because they was whooping the stuff. I know we got to go to a break, Jimmy. Before I go to the break, though, I want to share y'all tomorrow. We won't be on tomorrow, but I want tomorrow is October the 16th, and I want people to know it marks the 25th anniversary of the Million Man March. And it was one of the most important events that took place in my lifetime. I didn't go because I let some people talk me out of going because I was younger then and didn't understand, man, just go. But I let people talk me out of coming. Because Minister Farrakhan was over it. I shouldn't go because I'm saying, I just, when you know better, you do better. I didn't go. But I'd never seen anything like that in my life. I know some friends of mine that did go. It was more than 1 million men out there. Let's get that straight. It was more than 1 million man. But tomorrow marks that anniversary, and it is one of the most iconic events that has been ignored by the by the media, by the news media. Okay, so I owe it as an obligation to talk about it on this show. It's hardly ever mentioned on this anniversary, and it kind of pisses me off a little bit. Everybody, check this out. All them people there, not one violent act. Okay, the rumor is it was one arrest, and that arrest was a white guy that they caught in a phone booth trying to call in a bomb scare so everybody can leave. That was a rumor. Now I don't know if that was a fact. It was a rumor, but I don't care what your issue is with Farrakhan. But I remember after that, black men that I know who went came back home and joined organizations, everything from the NAACP to the Urban League. They joined their churches and they registered to vote. So let me tell you something. I just want y'all to tomorrow to celebrate the Million Man March because it was all, and they got a movie out called Get on the Bus. A great movie to watch that's depicting some of the people's travels to that historic and iconic event. And I just think tomorrow let's celebrate it. But Chop Shop will be back in a minute. I got a commercial for you. Hey women, where you at? Got this for you.
Black women have always been on the front lines for social justice.
It's what we do.
We organize, make phone calls,
And yes,
we run for office.
all while being fly.
We stand up
To systemic racism
fight for health care and justice
for all our citizens and use our power,
Our right.
our responsibility.
Black women.
Let's vote.
Vote.
For Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
Your turn, fellas.
Okay, we got this. Fellas, brothers,
We've heard our sisters,
our mothers, our wives and daughters cry out for equality.
equality all across this country. And now it's our turn.
Our responsibility
To take our power back.
Black women vote more than black men.
And it's time we change that.
Don't give your power away.
Every single vote counts in this election.
Show up
Show out.
And vote
for Joe Biden
and Kamala Harris.
Welcome back to the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim Hicks, coming to you live from Houston, Texas. That was a great video I played during the break. And we have some people I had one person that I'm not going to even call his name because I'm not going to even give him his name, no credence. But out of all of that video, all those powerful people, those mayors of cities, those are black mayors in cities around America. Somebody had to come up and say, one of them looked like a man. The woman in Chicago, a Lightfoot. And I know y'all be kidding, but man, that was powerful. How many people other than Sylvester Turner that you know that's mayors of these major metropolitan cities? Those were the people. Denver. Those were the people right there. So let's when we know better, we got to do better. You know, we got to know, but when we know better, we got to do better. You know, I mean, come on, y'all, quit playing. So where you want to go, Jimmy? Your guy ain't here yet. So Adam's not here.
We expected Adam Coleman here. Texas say he was running a little late, but I didn't know
he went way late, Coach.
Down late
because we got
to get another guest.
Yeah, coming on at 1. So so
meanwhile, wanted to real quick when they get to the baseball talk, and they say Roderick say Jimmy add game 2, 9th inning, and you can see what's coming. And which team, which series, Roderick, I know what you're talking about. And then Rod Wells wanted to give a correction for those on Facebook. I said estimated 20,000. It was approximately 11,000 that they let in, and they had them spaced out all around the global the Global Life Stadium. I think that's what it's called in Arlington, Texas. And but Rod, you says after the 4th inning, the Astros only scored 2 and Tampa Bay scored 3. Remember this? Yes. That's true. So for Tampa Bay, they can feel on that momentum, but at the same time, Tampa Bay scored them runs, and their bats came alive in the 9th inning, and they made a rally fell short. That was against Presley. They know they won't see Presley again unless their ass is losing. And guess what? Know what Dusty gonna do? Dusty ain't gonna just jump to Presley. He's gonna bring that other cat in to take care of business. And that's the thing. That's why I'm liking him. But at the same time, Presley got it done yesterday. So you have to realize now, this series is can really take a turn. Think about it. LA is down 2-1, and they still the favorite to get to win the World Series. The Dodgers. This is on the books. This is the odds in Vegas flipped in the Westgate, whatever the book. After they won, they became the favorite to win the World Series. That's like I'm spotting you a game. And now 2-1. We spotting the Braves. The Braves hadn't lost but one game in their last 8 tries. They still pound for pound the hottest team in baseball right now. But guess what? Kershaw is on the mound today. That's why. Because Kershaw does what he's expected to do, even though we know he's not 100%, having back spasms the other day. He comes in. It's a 3-game series then. After that, if the Dodgers can get now, the Atlanta gonna try to. And guess what, Adam? Acuna is still struggling. He's still struggling.
That's all right.
They took him out the game.
That's all right.
They took him out the game.
That's all right. Playing against them, hey, Jimmy, playing against those vaunted Dodgers, it makes you do that, Jimmy, sometimes. Dodgers will get you nervous. You see Mookie on the other side. When you see Mookie walking down.
Mookie had a double to lead off the game.
Dude, all you Mookie haters, Jimmy, they were who was that on that time? Mookie was 0 for 4, Hatter. Mookie was 0 for 4. Where they at today? But Jimmy, I want to share y'all some stuff, man, because we got 4 minutes to go to the guy. This the time of year, Jimmy, that NBA prospects, they're interviewing with teams, and and all that, right? So they did an article about executive. They shared their worst interview answers from NBA draft prospects. Can y'all believe? Y'all help me. What's up, Frank White? Y'all got to help me with this one, Jimmy. They said, you asked one guy about did he do drugs, right? It's NBA prospect. See, Walter Yates, these young men are going to a job interview, and this is what they're saying. He said he did ecstasy before. They said we asked him where he got the drugs. He said, where you get the money to buy the drug? He said, they paid me to come to this school, so that's where I got the money from. Jim, these some of the players. Hold up. They say it's amazing what these guys don't realize it's a job interview, Jimmy. I'm just trying to get, they got some, Jimmy, the worst answers. They said some executives were shocked by the bluntly honesty of some of the prospects. He said, while others learned new intel that wasn't in their background report, the answers led them, when the guy asked the guy about the drugs and he just said, and other players answered the questions about getting in trouble in their college career, and they failed to show maturity. And these executives, y'all know when y'all go and y'all see people draft stock drop down, Jimmy, and y'all say, well, I wonder what happened to him. These guys in these interviews, this one guy said, one executive spoke to a draft prospect who got in trouble and was suspended by a school, right? So the executive asked the player what he learned. And he said his response blew him away. He said the players told him, he said, check this out, Rick. People always watching. I got to be more careful the next time. The player, he was asked again, and he doubled down. These players, players, if one of y'all players or friends are listening, man, you can't tell them folks everything, man, like that. You have to watch how you frame it. That's all I'm saying. Because if they ask you that question, they already know about you anyway. So you have to watch how you frame it. I'm not telling you to lie, but you got to watch how you frame it, man. What did he say? He said he had a player tell him he was suspended for smoking weed and how the suspension was a great learning experience for him. And then they followed up and he got suspended again. So, Jimmy, y'all wouldn't believe the stuff that goes on in these interviews when these players, I don't know who prepped these players before they go, but man, we have to prep our young men a lot better when they go to a job interview, because that's what an NBA, it's a job. It's a job. So I just wanted to share that in case one of y'all ever have influence over a guy that might get an interview. Please let him know. Watch what he say. What else you got, Jimmy? Yeah, Jimmy, I meant to tell you, I heard you made a bet with somebody about Duncanville and IMG. What happened in that bet in a football game?
Man,
what happened?
And when our guests come,
okay. Oh, you're talking about that. Okay.
And I'll let him explain to you how he was pissing bullets down the stretch on that spread, and what happened to make him enable him to cover that spread. And I'll tell you what happened. And more importantly, why it happened.
Well, on cue.
That's the IMG Duncanville game, high school game this past weekend.
Well, on cue, he's in the green room. I can bring him in anytime you want to by push of a button.
Let's get on right now. Let's get right now. We're gonna talk some high school football. football because we missed. We got CJ. That's of course I ain't gonna give you your first name out. CJ. You know, he might be on some posters or something on some walls somewhere, some conspicuous places. Nobody, if you've seen this guy, call his number. But CJ, the correct pronunciation of your last name will give you the honor of introducing yourself to the viewers.
Well, first of all, Jim and Rob, thank y'all very much for having me. My name is CJ Cavasso. Having a lot of brother friends, everybody says Cavassier is like Cavasso.
Oh, well, he'll know that then.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. That's what I say, damn. So, but now, welcome to the Chop Shop. You are the high school football, college football influencer. That's the new name they give to people when they got so much power, they don't know how to keep it under the lid. They just call them influencer. So that's what you are. That's what I've been told you are around the ranks, the Division I coaches and all that.
What was it called before that, CJ? Since you were influenced, what were they called before you? Since that name evolved.
Good question.
That's a great question, Rob. I don't know what they were called. It's probably a word I probably can't use in the public eye. So I'd rather just use the word influence to be happy with that. That's a compliment. Thank you, Jim.
and the name of your service, you also have a football scouting service and the football coaches that have a basketball scouting service where the NCAA coaches, they subscribe on an annual basis in exchange for intel on potential prospects. So you do the same in football. And tell us where you're based at and the name of the service.
I do a little bit different, Jim. I don't have anybody subscribe to me. I basically have parents that contact me to help promote their kids. Parents from really small schools.
So you're the recruiting service.
Yeah.
The recruiting service. Parents.
You're the recruiting service. Great.
Coaches that I contact and I place kids into different colleges all over the country.
You place your own kid in a pretty nice spot too now.
Well, I don't think I had to place him. You know, Jim could have helped him. You know, when you got talent and you got speed and you got measurables, it don't take much to place those guys. Those are the easy ones to place. Y'all know about that.
Yeah,
That's that 7'2" center that all you got to do is just roll out the ball and he's good to go.
What position? I'm glad you said it. What position does he play?
My son's a cornerback at the Ohio State University.
Ooh, how fast is he?
Hey, hold on. What? What's that behind you in your background? What's the background? And what's that on your shirt?
Look at it, man. Look at it, man. Hey, we had a kid come out of Houston that went to Alabama, left Alabama, went to Ohio State, and he playing for the Atlanta Falcons right now. Kendall Sheffield.
Kendall Sheffield. I know Kendall's dad. Kendall's a very good, very great player, very good player. His father's a very good friend.
Yeah.
Good man. We're trying to follow all these footsteps and all these great players have opened for my son. Ohio State is a special place. You know, in college football, a lot different than college basketball. A lot of schools are known for different things. You know, some schools are known for offensive linemen. Some schools are known for wide receivers. You know, Ohio State is the BIA. You know, everybody thinks, you know, DB used the word, unless you can have it. You know, BIA is Best America. And that's what Ohio State's defensive backs are. And it's a blessing to have my son as being a part of a special group of young men that have made good decisions to play big-time football.
You know what? Sean Springs. You know I remember Sean Springs. Mm-hmm. Real good friend of mine. We wanted to represent him because I represented Charles Woodson. He's a friend of the show. And I remember him, and I remember Eddie. Eddie was a running back, but they used to be so. And you know, Charles. I tell you this story. Charles it's from Ohio, and didn't go to and chose Michigan over Ohio. Yep. That was like man a no.
Yeah,
he from Fremont, Ohio, and chose Michigan. It was a whole. I mean, it was crazy. CJ. What you know about that kind of stuff up there?
You know what the crazy thing about it is, you know, living in Texas, and we live in San Antonio,
right?
And living in Texas, you know, we used to have that hatred on Texas and Texas A&M. But when the SEC came in and A&M went to the SEC and Texas stayed in the Big 12, you know, they might still hate each other, but it's nothing like it is in Michigan, Ohio. That Michigan, Ohio stuff is serious. I mean, let's put it this way. My son is not allowed to say the word Michigan. The coaches are not allowed to say the word Michigan. It's the team up north.
The team, that's what they say. You're right.
Serious.
Jimmy.
Yeah, man, it's serious, man.
The team up north, they can't say it.
They serious about that like that.
Ooh.
They're crazy serious about it. And it's you know, they call it a rivalry, but it's not a rivalry until the other team wins. So I don't know what kind of rivalry it is now because Ohio State have been mopping the floor for the last few years.
So, hey,
I'm gonna stay out of that. Go blue. Go blue.
now, one of the things, of course, your son played high school football, and you made a decision that many parents, you know, a growing number of parents have to cross the road to make, and that is to send your son into virtually parts unknown.
Yep.
To finish their high school career. Where most people coming up, you're thinking like, okay, we're gonna do this. You go to high school, you go to the prom, senior skip day. I might get a phone call saying you in the park, you missed fifth, you missed second period, and you're hanging out with some chicks, but you're gone for his 12th grade year. Tell us where your son went to school, where did you send him to, and how did you guys get to that conclusion within your household?
Well, he didn't go for his senior year, Jimmy. I'm a little crazier than most parents. He went for 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. So his experience at IMG is very unique because not many guys go 3 years. He played 9th grade football at Cibolo Steele High School in San Antonio, Texas.
That was a powerhouse back in the day. It still is.
Well, your version of powerhouse and my version of powerhouse are two different versions.
Well, I not IMG powerhouse, but a Texas powerhouse.
Well, I gave those coaches an opportunity to coach my son, and that's what I talked about the other day. You and I, high school football coaches in Texas are governed by the University Interscholastic League, and that UIL has a lot of power, and that power is used to basically protect high school coaches, programs, and they have their own agenda. And, you know, I wasn't happy at Cibolo Steele for my son. I thought he should have played varsity football as a freshman, and they didn't think he did. So, you know what? It is what it is. I give people one chance to do me wrong. After that one chance, I said, we're not going to put up with this. We're going to take our son to one of the top programs in the country. IMG had been contacting us his whole freshman year. I had been telling them no, until I finally started thinking about what IMG does. IMG is a lot more than a big-time football program. They develop young men to be great. They develop young men to be special. They teach kids how to get away from home. They teach kids how to make good decisions on their own. It's kind of like college for high school kids. That's the way Coach Wright described it to us. What I liked the most about it was the ability to be around elite players every day that enabled him to be great. Everybody uses the word great and all these words that are used in a very, very broad manner. I use that word very, very carefully. I mean, you say powerhouses, and I say no. Powerhouses to me are programs that build phenomenal programs, athletes around unique players and make them special. IMG has been able to do that. Now, they don't do it in a fair way, so don't schedule them if you don't want to cry. So they do it in a way where they can recruit nationally. They recruit the best players. My son has teammates that he played high school ball with that play at USC, Penn State, and everything in between, Bama, Clemson, Georgia. And that's the circle of friends my son has. More importantly, he has friends from boarding school that have been sent there from all over the world. You know how Jim and Rob, y'all's high school friends and my high school friends are from Alice, Texas, and they're regular guys that have regular jobs. I've met people at IMG through my son that his friends, his circle, one of them owns 75% of the diamond industry in South Africa. They're not rich, they're wealthy families. And being around people that are all different cultures and South African and Japanese and European and then Hispanic, South America. It kind of made him a more broader student. So you send them to IMG for a lot of different factors. And I learned that in those 3 years. And I'm very, very happy with what IMG helped my son accomplish to get him to where he's at today.
Wow.
Hey,
man.
Congratulations. Now he's
go on, Jimmy.
Go on.
No, I was about to say, now he's at, are they going to redshirt him or he's going to play at Ohio State this year?
First of all, you don't bring a corner to IMG to redshirt. You bring him to play. And he's expected to play. He's excited about the opportunity to play for a big-time program. He's getting ready to play. We open up next week against Nebraska. So, you know, he should get his feet wet, dive in there and learn what Big Ten football is and, you know, see what kind of plan God has for him and that team. That team is special. They have a special group of coaches, a special group of kids, and that program is locked and loaded and focused and ready to go do what they got to do starting this week.
I got something for you because you talked about, was that your plan all the time? I know your plan in the beginning it was about football because you talked about not starting a freshman. So at Bill O'Steele. So that was about football. Correct. So when did the focus transform when he went to IMG? When did you realize, man, my son around some different people, like my son graduated from Cornell. He always tell me about dad, trust fund baby. He got dad. That's my friend. He's a trust fund kid. Dad, we going to Martha's Vineyard to their other house. We going to Hamptons, places I barely been. We going to their other house. I talked to some people from New York. I said, dude, have you ever heard of Bronxville, New York? And people from New York ain't never heard of it. Do me a favor.
Wow.
Go Google it.
Okay.
I don't want to explain it for y'all. It's called Bronxville, not the Bronx. Bronxville is one of the richest per capita places in the world. He went up, one of his friends, man, let's go up here. Because I said, where the hell you going? So I Googled, see where the hell my son was going. Just go look at it. Y'all go Google it and we'll talk about it during the show. But when did that transform? When did you start finding that out by being at IMG? You're rubbing shoulders with those kids' dads.
You know what? His sophomore year when we play games, I would see parents show up in things that just blew my mind. You know, the attire parents would wear to games, you know, slacks, very nice, expensive shirts, big money purses and shoes that my wife would say cost $1,000, and the dads are wearing $2,000, $3,000. I was like, okay, what does he do? And when I started seeing that circle of people, I was so like, this is more than football. This is about life. Our son's circle of friends is going to be a circle of friends for the rest of his life. That's going to give him an opportunity to win in life, and that's what a lot of people don't realize. Sports, I tell everybody this. Sports is phenomenal, basketball, football, everything. But those lights at those stadiums, in those basketball arenas, and they turn off. When they turn off, what are you going to be able to do? And are you going to be able to survive? And being around a circle of people like your son was at Cornell and my son was at IMG, they're going to have opportunities to have business ventures with people that are already successful. And that's what it's about to me. That's when I learned it. So his sophomore year, I learned, and my eyes got real wide open. And I was like, wow, this is special.
And it's unique that, CJ, you didn't go there for that. You went there thinking about football, and you evolved. You said, wait a minute.
Yep. Yeah. It turned out to be a lot more than sports. And that's what I tell people about IMG. First of all, it's not for everybody, because a lot of kids, I've seen kids from inner cities come to IMG and they can't handle it because they have too much in them. They have to change. IMG doesn't change for you. You have to change for it. But if you change for it, it will help you tomorrow, because life is all about tomorrow, not today. And my son learned that, and all of his teammates learned that. They go to college. They're successful football players. I mean, we're going to watch Nolan Smith from Georgia this weekend play against Evan Neal from Alabama. They're going to go against each other. They were high school teammates at IMG.
Wow.
One's a defensive end outside linebacker, and the other one's the right tackle. They're going to play against each other for 4 quarters. So that's what IMG, the football is great, but the circle of friends that they have made is just greater.
That's unbelievable, Jimmy.
And we have a couple of questions that somebody asked. And number one, I want to insert first is when your son went there as a sophomore to IMG from Cibolo Steel, did he play as a 10th grader at IMG? What was it, or did he have to go through growing pains and then wait? And then, did he come there and immediately get on the field? Because that's the highest level of football at the high school level that it is.
So this is a great story. This is a great story, Jim. You're gonna love this. So his first experience at IMG was hard. He was not the man. He wasn't the starter. He backed up a guy named Andre Cisco that nobody knew who it was from I know he's from New York, somewhere in New York City. Andre Cisco ended up being a 2-time All-American at Syracuse and is just declared for the draft this week. He's one of the top-rated safeties in the country. Legend went in as a safety and backed up Andre Cisco. He started 2 games his sophomore year at IMG, but in the beginning of the season, he wasn't playing very much to the 4th quarter. And the biggest problem kids have today is sitting. Nobody wants to sit. Everybody wants to come in and play. Legend learned, and I taught him, it's a process. Everything is a process. And once you learn the process, you can succeed tomorrow. So no, he did not play immediately. He started 2 games his sophomore year I think Andre Cisco got hurt, but he got to play a lot. He had a great experience. He played with some phenomenal guys. Buki, the corner from Oklahoma, 44. He played with Houston Griffin, one of the corners at Notre Dame. Greg Newsome, one of the corners at Northwestern now. Every team he played on, they'd have 25 to 35 Division I signees. So he played with talent on top of talent. So he learned the process, Jim, of waiting. Basketball has 5 guys, and that's it, that play basketball. Football has 22. There's a lot more opportunity to play in football, but it's a lot more challenging because you have how many D1 scholarships in football, in basketball? 12 or 15? But y'all got
13.
D1.
13.
13.
And they have 85. They have 85 in football. So you have a lot more guys on scholarship, a lot more competition. It taught him the process of being patient and waiting. And that's probably one thing that's going to help him this year as a true freshman at Ohio State. He knows his time will come, and he's prepared for it. He's just waiting for his opportunity. Whenever he gets it, he's got to be ready.
And so that means, so that's why I asked you that question leading to, so now him not playing much when he first got to IMG as a sophomore, now you're in college whereas the players are not just 3 years older, but in some cases 4 years older. And with the stakes being higher, what happens? So you prepare like mentally, because you've already been prepared, went through it. If he doesn't play much and you still just stick with it and fight it out, and like you say, don't let him just go and say, I want to transfer because the NCAA just ignited new rules on the last 48 hours where you would be able to transfer. We'll talk about that shortly. But just chime in on that part of the expectations of a parent when your kid is a freshman now in college. And how do you know if that college coach had been telling you the truth all this time or not?
One thing, Jimmy, as an ex-high school coach that I am, I don't want anybody lying to me. Are you there?
Yeah, we there.
Are y'all there?
Yes, sir. We here.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought I lost you.
No.
So one thing is I don't want anybody lying to me. And nobody lied to me. We're prepared for whatever's at stake with Legend. We know it's a process. We know he has to wait. We're okay with it. And he's okay with it. It's all about him. He's prepared. He's okay. And I'm okay too.
That's good. You know, and me knowing Ohio State.
Somebody else asked.
Go, Jim. Go. Okay, me knowing about Ohio State, I want to piggyback on what Jimmy said, because every guy that goes there, they think they're going to be a pro. And one of them. Kendall Sheffield, he had a hell of a wake-up call. Luke Saban said, your ass ain't good enough.
Yep. It's tough. But you got to remember this. Kendall Sheffield went to a high school where he was probably the star every day. He was probably an offensive superstar, a defensive superstar, return punts and kickoffs, and he was the man all the time. He never had to go through anything. The guys that go to IMG at a young age have to go through it. Yes. And I believe that's what prepares them for tomorrow.
Gotcha. Jim, I'm sorry.
I really do.
And now somebody else asked, we're reading questions now from the viewers in the Boom Boom Room. We're streaming live right now on Facebook and YouTube simultaneously. If you're on YouTube, give us a thumbs up out there. We see you guys. Shout out to Kim Jackson, Darryl Barnes, Rick Timms, Coach Leah, Rod Wells, Jeremy Davis. I see all of you guys, can't name them all. Of course, everybody in Facebook land, if you would share the show right now. Just take out the time and share the show. Remember, we're on day of our new Facebook page, whereas a lot of people and the thousands of people from the other Facebook page, which we were locked out of, they don't necessarily know how to find us.
Yes.
And so if you share the show, it may get back during this week to one of the other followers of the show who's so used to getting their notifications during the middle of the day, the Monday to Thursday. We call it affectionately Baby Friday. Shout out to Lupe Nunez for pinning that title to us. I wore this lid today, just giving a shout out to Lupe Nunez and his heritage, because this guy right here got me through many of the. It didn't close the deal many a times back in the days. I just put it like that. That was a deal closing. You put that on. But now here's another question. Somebody asked, when your son went to IMG, twofold, and that is, number one, did he play on a national team or the regular team? Number two, did he get a scholarship, or did he have to pay? There's people that wants to know how the economics goes in regard to a school like that. And so you can take us through that.
Carefully.
That's nosy, man. They be nosy, man, but come on.
Hey, man.
People want to know.
You know what?
People want to know.
I'm trying to help people, so I'm going to be real honest, okay?
Okay.
So number one, he was only on the national team, the elite team of ballers. That's the team he played on, the national team. He didn't play on the varsity team.
Okay.
Number two, when it comes to pay, can answer it like this. I paid a small fee for a huge return. It was 100% free. I paid a small fee on a huge return, and I would do it 1,000 more times because IMG special.
Hold up. I got something for you, Coach. Coach, that's what I said about Cornell. I paid a small fee for a huge return.
Huge return. Amen to that. Amen to that.
And so now Angel has a question.
Not everything free is good. Say what, Jim?
No, I was just reading more questions from different viewers, different questions, so they won't stack, so they won't ball backwards, and we get on a different topic, and we talking about something else shortly. Angel say I'm jumping in late, so I admit I missed part of this convo. But didn't some of the same academic and social opportunities exist at Legends' previous school? If the lights turn off one day, shouldn't the education still be number one?
Yeah, the difference is when you go to a public school in Texas, you're getting taught by very good public high school teachers. My wife's a teacher, so I'm not going to say anything bad about teachers. The difference at IMG is you're getting taught by professors from colleges and universities around Bradenton that are teaching our kids in a different setting. See, academics is not the same everywhere you go. Some schools are more challenging than others. Some schools have better tests than others. IMG's academics, most people that are billionaires and millionaires, they send their kids to IMG because of the education. They make them play a sport to get in. The education at IMG is ridiculous. It's second to none. It is a $90,000 a year boarding school, and it's not because of the sports. It's because of the professors they have to pay. It is very challenging. My son has had an academic advisor. He's had academic counselors. He knows about tutors that they pay. I mean, everybody has taught my son what he's going through today at The Ohio State. He is more prepared today because he went to ING than if he would have gone to Cibolo Steel. I believe that 110%.
We got more questions coming from you. We get one from Alfio. We say, ask CJ, was your son able to cover Garrett Wilson when he got to Ohio State?
Well, Garrett Wilson's dad and I are great friends. And if you ask my son, he's going to say yes. And if you ask Garrett, he's going to say no.
I like that.
Let's put it this way. At Ohio State, it's elite versus elite. Some will win and some you will lose. And that's what makes you special. Everybody talks about grinding and iron sharpens iron. That happens every day at Ohio State. And that's why we send him there. I want him to get beat by the elite guys. I want him to get challenged every day because that is how you become great. That's how Jeff Okudah became great, Damon Arnett. I can name them, Denzel Ward, Marshawn Lattimore. That's how they became great, going against great players. So the answer is yes, he can cover him, and no, he can't cover him. It's a double-edged sword on both of them.
CJ, right quick, I want to know the name because they keep asking, what's the name of your recruiting service?
It's CJ. It's my Twitter is @CJRecruiting1. @CJRecruiting1. The name of the recruiting service, you can go to www.cjrecruiting.com. Now, be careful when you go there because I keep it 100. I don't tell parents what they want to hear. I tell them what they need to hear. Now, that's a statement that a lot of people can't handle. I am a 100% guy that tells people the truth. And if you can't handle the truth, don't even holler at me because that's the way it is. I deal like y'all. Y'all are 100 too.
Oh, yeah.
I'm definitely going to keep it 100.
We can't help.
We know you 100.
Hey, we can't help.
Hey, you know what, though? And it's to a fault because I get to a point where I have to look in every now and then you look in and mirror on the wall. You do that every now and then at a certain age. So I look in the mirror and I learn, meaning that figuratively, and you've learned somebody tell you kept it so real that you became the boogeyman. You became the villain. People said that you were the dream killer.
Dream killer.
You kept it so real. And that's and so they say if you want to push forward being that same guy, then you're going to be more people that's probably going to be. But on the good side, they're only going to come in intervals of 4-year intervals. And as one is coming in, one is going out. And trust me, most of those people that come through the ranks that you will see as covering the area, whether it be football, basketball, you're probably not going to see them they're not going to intersect among the circumference of your life anymore after their sons or daughters are gone. That's the thing you think about. So they mean relationships, some will for a year or two, and they'll fade on to black. But for the most part, 10 years later, who's still in the circumference of your life that you met, and that's the relationships. Of course, try to strive to get those, but at the same time, it's a better way to tell them to keep it 100. And I'm still gonna keep it 100, but I'm gonna let them know the disclaimer before I start talking. Hey, look, I'm about to tell you something that you might not digest right now. Now, do you still want to hear this? And then I let it go instead of just letting it go. And so now, speaking of you and your service. I was speaking of you and your service. That's what I want to talk about right now, and that is you go and the parents, as opposed. So this is a great conversation we're about to go into right now, even because it's two different sports. Basketball, I have a scouting service, guys, and I'm educating the public that are watching. We said this 100 times over, but everybody don't watch and hear it every day. College coaches pay me a fee to provide them intel, whether they get the kid or not. They're not paying me to get them a particular kid, so to speak. That's not what the NCAA rules even restrict. It protects me from having to be in a situation where I should not be what they call in too deep. However, if you want to excel at this business, there will be a time that you would become probably compromising your integrity, the rules, or your family, and throw your job in there as well, your day job, to get to where you're trying to go. I understand that. Meanwhile, you operate a recruiting service. The difference in the two, you don't get paid. You're not obligated to the college coaches to provide them intel whatsoever. Now, explain your obligation and how it works with recruiting services, even though it's football.
My obligation is totally different than yours. I totally understand what you're doing, and what you're doing is a phenomenal deal. I coached at the Mecca. You know, there's a lot of schools that are big time high school programs, right? But in the late 90s, one of the top programs in the country, there was one in Houston called Jack Yates High School, and there was one in Dallas called Carter High. And boy, did God give me an opportunity to coach at Dallas Carter High School. I coached at Dallas Carter High School with Bruce Chambers, and I got an opportunity to meet college coaches from all over the country. I met Urban Meyer when he was at Notre Dame as a receiver coach. I met Kevin Sumlin when he was a receiver coach at Purdue. I met hundreds of college coaches. I had 6 Division I wide receivers that I helped in a 1-year span at Dallas Carter, and I coached wideouts. So Kevin Sumlin kind of made a name. He said, CJ, you're like CJ recruiting. Every time we call you, or every time you call, you got a guy. So it kind of stuck, and it really, really opened my eyes to say, you know what? I can help a lot of families and a lot of kids. My biological father was an attorney, and his name was James Belt, and he lived in Dallas. And his calling was the right to vote, helping African Americans be free and get out of trouble when they were in trouble. And he was a big influencer in the Dallas community. My big influence in life at 50 years old, my feather in my hat is helping kids. I love helping kids, but I don't want to help kids. Parents think that they're just great. Parents contact me. I have an agreement that I send to them. They sign it. They hire me for a fee. And when they hire me, before they hire me, I usually let 4 or 5 college coaches watch the video. I usually know what level they play. I tell them what level I think they can play. If they want to go that route, we go that route. If they don't, I wish them good luck and God bless them. Good luck to you. Whatever happens, happens. But I reach out to college coaches all over the country. I can say today I've probably spoken to about 10 Division I football coaches. Today. I do it every day. I talk to coaches. Coaches text me. They're looking for this. I'm looking for that. So I put pieces of puzzles together. I send kids to schools like Holy Cross in Worcester, Massachusetts. I mean, there's so many schools. I talked to Clarence McKinney yesterday at TSU about a lineman that I'm helping that he likes. There's all types of schools out there. Everybody thinks they're D1. My job when parents hire me is simple. Find a free education for your son to get an opportunity to live a dream. My job is to get a free education and place the kid in the right school. I tell kids this, Jimmy and Rob, go where you're wanted, not where you want to go. It's a big difference. Powerful statement. Powerful. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. Ty Lue going to the Clippers. There you go. Ty Lue going to coach Kawhi now. Okay, let's get a little basketball talking here.
Ty Kawhi.
Keep talking about your
Ty
stuff.
Kawhi.
You breaking the flow.
Come on, my bad.
So yeah. So that's what that's what I do. And when I get parents to sign an agreement, because I don't want a high school coach to call me and say you can't talk about my kid. So parents give me the opportunity. Parents give me a responsibility. I take it very seriously, but I'm very honest with them, and it's very good for me. It's a passion that I have. It's not something I like to do. It's something I love to do. And I tell people, I'm not working. I'm doing what I love to do, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
And I'm listening, and I'm reading the comments, and you guys keep comments coming. Of course, in this business, you mentioned, you say not everybody thinks they're Division I. And nowadays it's like that in basketball as well. So what I want to ask you, on yesterday, the news became official that the NCAA has announced that prospects will receive another year an additional year of eligibility, and another, and in some cases, depending on the sport, another year. How would that affect football? And because in recruiting, sometimes if your son is a senior or a rising senior in high school, and you're being recruited by a school, and you're looking at the depth chart, and you're saying, okay, this guy's going to be a junior now. He'll be gone. I come there as a freshman. He'll be a senior. I work behind him 1 year. Now that guy has the option to come back another year. And that wasn't part of the plan, to be sitting 2 years. So how would that affect football first? And because it's a really good question. A lot of people don't know this. Once again, guys, NCAA just announced yesterday that certain sports will, in your major sports, players will get an extra year to stay if they want.
Now
how does it break it down? How does it happen in football?
It's going to be very tricky, Jimmy, because of this. Number one, the schools are going to have to approve that too. The NCAA has given the green light for that to happen, but the university has to have money to pay for those scholarships. It's different because not every school is going to say yes. Not every school is going to say no. So as a student athlete, if you're being recruited right now, you better make sure that you find out from that university or institution what they're doing with their athletes. Would they have an extra year? Will they not have an extra year? And I tell kids this. Daryl Jones played for me at Dallas Carter. He started at Miami, won a national championship. He's now a pastor in South Florida, and he's probably one of the greatest athletes I've ever coached. He was a phenomenal athlete at Dallas Carter in the late 90s. And Daryl Jones told me this, and I'll never forget this. I told this to my son. Pick a school that if you break your neck the first day of practice, you still want to be there and graduate. Sports is one thing, and you got to do what's right for you as a sports athlete, but you got to make sure you pick the right program for you tomorrow. What if if everything doesn't go right? You got to pick the right school for you tomorrow. And my son at Ohio State, he says that, I ask him all the time, is everything good? Loves it. Doesn't hate the cold weather. It's not that cold yet. You got to go somewhere where you want to be. You can't just get caught up in these stadiums and these basketball arenas because there's only 5-6 home games a year. What about the other 350 days you're stuck there? You better make sure you love it. So when it comes to recruiting and it comes to players, parents, my advice to you is talk to the coaches and make sure and find out what their plan is with their seniors. And then make a decision that's best for your son there. But, when you're elite and you go to an elite program, you don't really have to worry about that because I don't think these elite players at Ohio State are going to say, I'm staying an extra year. They're trying to go get that money, man. They're trying to get paid. So, it doesn't really I don't think it affects us very much. I think it affects the programs that are not the super elite programs. I think it affects the group of 5 schools. I really do. I don't think, the big schools, these guys want to graduate from college. They either want to go pro or they want to, they may want to come back for a 6th year, but how many 6th-year players do you know that actually play or are elite? If you're that good, you wouldn't be in college 6 years anyway,
And and once again, time would tell. And it sounds like it depends on the economics of the program as far as the situation, because some coaches want some of those 12th graders, those seniors in college to take their ass on and get the hell out of the program. And that's going to be where the rubber going to hit the road at, because, and you're going to see. And then also the recruitment of high school players. Does that in football, I'm just curious, in football, will it change the way high schoolers are recruited now? Because not many guys are going to be prone to saying I'm going to come in and not be the guy. Especially if you're All-American, you played in the Under Armour game. You're not wanting to. So how would that affect the JUCO ranks of football, the blends of the world?
I went to blend 88 to 90. I'm a big JUCO fan. I think I told you that because they love junior college sports. I think it's going to really affect those guys because those guys had to get they're at a junior college for a reason. They're not at a junior college because they were super elite. They made some bad choices or they grew late or whatever. So now they got to pick a school where they're stacked with juniors and seniors, and they're going to be juniors and seniors, and those guys have it's going to affect them more than it affect high school players. I think the high school route, what it's going to affect is every high school player thinks they're going to come in and play. That's the problem. You're not going to come in and play at these Alabamas. It's very rare you see them. There's a couple that do. I think Alabama's got started outside linebacker and a starting corner. So they have a couple, but it's not many. I mean, you can't. I mean, our corner from IMG is starting at LSU, Elias Ricks. There's not many guys that come in and play day one. That's going to be a problem for high school, more for junior college than it is for high school. I think high school kids just going to have to learn how to sit. That's going to be their problem.
Well, will it also, many college coaches they're going to be faced with not having to be able to easily sell so much bullshit to these players and these families now. That's what's going to happen as well, because they're going to be held to the fire.
Accountable. Yeah, they're going to be held accountable. That's why you got to pick a school that's got a great coaching staff. It's just going to be real with you. I mean, you can't pick a school that's coach going to tell you what you want to hear. If the coaches are telling you what you want to hear, they're lying to you, because them juniors and seniors ain't going to sit for no freshmen. They've been there 2 to 3 years. You need to pick a school that's best fits you, where you feel that coach is talking to you is like your father talking to you, and you trust him and you believe him. Coaches will, if they can get away with it, they'll do it. But, I know a lot of college coaches, and yeah, they might tell kids this and that, but at the end of the day, they're going to be honest with kids, because in today's world, in recruiting, everything's on Twitter, everything's on social media. You don't want to get a bad rap, because they're going to dog you. Hey, coach so-and-so lied to me. I'm leaving the school because of XYZ. He said this. Once they get that stuff out there on social media, you get to read it, Rob gets to read it, I read it, everybody reads it. So you got to be real careful how you talk to these parents today, how you talk to these high school kids, because their platform is a lot bigger than it was 20 years ago.
Indeed. We're going to ask a couple more questions from the Boom Boom Room. And one is Jeffrey Day is a really, really good question for you. And Jeffrey Day is a guy, he's part of the RCS Sports fraternity now, part of the family. So he just hired him on, guys, about 2 weeks ago. And so shout out, you guys see Jeffrey Day around the gym, or you see him on social media, make sure you tag him, follow him. And he's asking a good question. He's not from Houston. He recently moved to Houston from Illinois, right?
Oh.
And he says, I've always had this question. If Texas is so vast in talent and finances, why isn't there more preps like IMG, Montverde is the basketball powerhouse, etc.?
I know about Montverde. You know what, Jeff? That is a phenomenal question, and I'm going to give you the answer that most people won't give you, because I don't care about being politically correct. I don't have a high school kid in Texas anymore, so I'm going to tell you the truth.
Hallelujah!
Because the University Interscholastic League does not want that to happen, because that will take away from their little daddy ball league, because then they won't have no control. They do not want prep schools coming to Texas. They will do everything in their power to tear it down, because they don't want IMG in Texas. They don't want Montverde. They don't want any of these programs here, because all them top Houston basketball players will go there. The top football players will go there. They want to control the narrative. They will not allow it. If word gets going, the Texas High School Coach Association will start tearing it down. They won't talk about property. Don't buy this property. Don't sell this to them. Their tentacles are everywhere in Texas, and they do not want that to happen, period.
Well, you call them daddy ball. What you mean by the UIL is daddy ball?
They're buddy balls, man. They're all buddies.
Buddy
All these coaches, they're all brothers, man. They're going to do everything they can to take care of each other. That's good for them. Hey, man, I wish them the best. Good luck to y'all. I'm done with that headache. I went to the G. We went to the G. We good.
I got something for you, though. I like that. I went to the G. I'm going to use that. But guess what? We got a school now here in Houston called the Legacy School of Sports and Sciences. And people, the UIL, and people are hating on this school the same way. Don't play this school. You got a mandate. This district, you can't play this school. You got a mandate. If you in this district, you can't play this school, because they taking what? Our players. You can't take nobody who don't want to be took.
Well, Rob, the problem is this. UIL and high school coaches think they own players. The days of owning African Americans or minorities or student athletes are over. They have choices. We make whatever best choice is for our child. Ain't no coach gonna tell me what I can do and what I can't do in a high school program with my kid. That's why I sat there and said, holler, we out. But it's okay, because they're gonna be okay anyway. Yeah, they're gonna be okay anyway.
Yeah.
So I really feel we have the same problem in San Antonio. We have a school called Cornerstone here. I'm sure y'all have heard of Cornerstone.
Yeah.
That's where all the Nunez played last year.
Yeah.
And they don't want Cornerstone playing none of these kids here last year because it's affecting their players, and they're taking players from here and they're recruiting. Guys, you let kids and parents do what they want to do. Y'all don't own the narrative. The narrative is owned by parents, period. And that's what high school coaches do not like.
CJ, hold on. This UIL, because I keep hearing people talk about it. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I've never studied the UIL. I don't have a UIL degree. I mean, y'all know about them, but it seems funny. They sound similar to this thing that Mark Emmert runs at another level called the NCAA. It sounds eerily similar, CJ. Hey.
The difference is Mark Emmert's going to give everybody a one-time chance to transfer. The UIL wants to control everything. They won't even give you that.
See, it seems like they're saying, hold up. Seems like y'all can't tell me what to do with my ninjas.
That's right. That's true. That's a fact.
I don't want all them going to the legacy school.
Yep.
The legacy school, it might get too powerful. Hold on. It's owned by a black woman. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
And they got property already that they already own. They can expand. CJ, you hear me? Legacy School of Sports and Sciences already got the land. They can't stop them. And they can expand, and they got, as far as I can see, they got some more land. So I'm just, you're making me, because I was just like, okay, whatever, UIL, but you have explained it, UIL a lot more. See, I just never paid attention to the UIL because it didn't affect me. It didn't affect me.
Yeah.
My son played at the high school he was supposed to go to, and he left, and I had no dealings with him. We wasn't trying to transfer. We just said, okay, we're going to go over there to this school. We didn't get, I didn't care. You follow me? So I sit back and, man, you just, man, thank you. Thank you for just, people been telling me, but I'm listening through a different set of, from a different mouth right now. And you just telling me were you telling me these people are so powerful, they won't let an IMG in. They won't let one of these schools in because it affects them. Ain't got nothing to do with the play.
You need to tell the guys at Legacy School to call me. Tell them to call me. And when they're ready to get a football program going, tell them to call me.
They got one. Hold up. They got one. And guess what? They gonna call you. They gonna call you.
They got a football program. They're on their second coach. They just hired another coach starting this season, and this young man, actually, his father lives up in Dallas, and in the DFW area, and his father is from my side of town. So back in the day, so his father is you guys that's watching right now, in case you didn't know, I tell the guys from Houston area, sometimes people can connect dots. If you guys were familiar, of course, with the rap game back in the late 80s, early 90s, and that was a record label called the Trinity Garden Cartel.
Okay.
The owner and the founder and finance of the Trinity Garden Cartel, which that's the father of the head coach at Legacy. So his pops grew up on that side. And everybody that knows, if you knew the rap a lot, and you knew Trinity Garden Cartel, they wasn't necessarily arch rivals, but there was a spring, a lot of groups enabled, to pave, the road was paved from Rap-A-Lot, and they pushed forward. They had a good run with a couple of good records on the underground circuit. So his father, that was good people. But yes, they have a football program, and how to understand. That's why one of the things when I spoke with the administrators at Legacy, and I explained to them, it's going to feel like they're directly. It's kind of racial.
Yeah.
But it could be. However, whoever is trying to, that it has happened before. Cornerstone, the owners of Cornerstone wasn't black.
Nope.
In San Antonio, was it?
Mm-hmm.
The owners of Cornerstone Christian, and they have deep pockets, from what I understand. That Cornerstone Christian,
yes, sir.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about that deep.
Lupe used to call it Corntucky.
Mm-hmm. Corntucky.
Yeah, Lupe called it Corntucky.
But
crazy.
Remember, Deion Sanders, Sanders with the prime prep.
Yeah.
People knew that Deion had his pocket. He was willing to fade any bet. Well, guess what?
Yeah.
They made life so difficult. Now, at the same time, we have to take care of
they powerful, Jimmy. He just said they powerful. We know they powerful.
No, but it ain't just the UIL, Hatter. It's the UIL lead the charge, but it's also TAPS. TAPS got money in Texas.
That's right.
TAPS.
That's right.
They're not as big as far as schools.
I got a question for CJ.
Think about your Kincaid, which is an SPC.
Okay. Oh yeah.
You think about, you take the SPCs, and you take your Episcopal, which Episcopal feels like they're pipelining themselves. They feel, why the hell?
No
this may Episcopal could become the first school in Texas to ever have 3 classmates from the same school to get drafted in the first round of the NFL draft. They could have 3. So they feel, why the hell should I send my kids to over there? They're going to try to protect their assets. Right. So it's just part of the game. They just got to take care of business and gonna realize that you're going to get pushed back.
He just said, okay, so UIL, that's an entity. Right?
Okay.
That's entity. So TAPS, is that an entity? You mean to tell me these people don't know each other?
They all know each other.
They all know each other.
Yes.
Come on, man. Fight. So you're talking about the same. You're talking about the same bureaucracy here.
They all know each other, but they're not helping each other until they fighting against that. They're not helping each other on their day-to-day activities. You know why? Yeah. Because UIL, when the fight is over against a Legacy, they gonna get back. It's like Tom and Jerry. They gonna get the dog out the house. They gonna get the cat and the mouse and get the fighting. Once that dog get their ass out the house, I'm gonna tear your ass up again, and y'all quit taking our kids. That's the fight that's going on in Texas.
Okay. So what about Anthony Fobb? He got a lot of questions for statements for you, Jimmy.
Let's go. Let's get to him.
Jimmy, he said, "Stop it, Jimmy. The education was not up to par at Prime Prep. They did not take care of their financial business nor their educational business. That's one. We'll do that one." And then they said,
before that happened, pause right there. Before that happened, they had to go over the hurdle of a hearing to even get approved to get the school admitted into the UIL. Remember that. Prime Prep.
That's correct.
They had to go and have I'm talking about to even get accepted. That was so pushback, and they realized that Deion had pulled the politic move. But when they get to the meeting, they thought they was going to slam dunk Deion and say, "Y'all get the hell up out of here." They got approved, and that pissed people off even more. Of course, the grading academics came later, but the pushback was right there on the front. If it would have been Deion Sanders, that school would have got shut down. Would have never got approved.
I got something for you, CJ and Jimmy, Angel, because I asked Angel to clarify, because he was just making the steps. He said rules were made for a reason. Moves were made for a reason. He said, I don't have a problem with any parent choosing his path for his own child, but don't blame the state associations for having rules and regulations, okay? Don't blame them. Hold on, that's good. They think about all students, not just the top athletes. Now that makes sense.
That is 100% true. They have to do what's best for everybody, just like we have to do what's best for somebody. That's what people don't understand.
Okay.
They gotta have a blanket rule. But my problem is this.
Okay.
Everybody threatening the University Interscholastic League has to go in front of what's called the DEC. That district executive committee is made up of coaches.
Uh-huh.
When they get turned down there, they got to appeal and go to Austin. That committee is made up of coaches. It is a lose-lose situation. You're dealing with the same people all the time, and they ain't gonna go against.
Jimmy told me that. What? He told me that a long time ago. Dude, them people ain't gonna win. He be telling me when them people go. He said, "Man, them people ain't gonna win."
He
said, "You wasting your damn time of driving your gas going to Austin. Your ass done lost before you even got to Austin."
Yeah, that's right. Save your gas and save your money and save your time. You ain't going to Austin for nothing but a rejection. You want to win in Austin?
Guess what?
Go play basketball and run track.
And guess what? Every appeal, in case you guys didn't know, if you appeal the DEC decision, the district executive committee's decision at the regional local level, and you go to Austin for a hearing, for an appeal, anytime you go to Austin, that means a person's already been denied. You don't go to Austin to get the hearing. You get to Austin, that's the Fifth Circuit of Court of Appeals. That's what that is. And it costs you $100. So think about how many every Tuesday they have a hearing, and it's going to be a slate of about eight to 10 on the docket every Tuesday. And for sure, they might do it twice a week sometime. I don't know how they do it now because of COVID, but it's $100 for the appeal. Just throwing it in the wind.
I call that dead man walking. I call it dead man walking because you go to Austin, you're dead. You're done. Don't even go. You're done.
Dead man walking.
Dead man walking.
You going to?
They try to get me to go to. Hey, they tried to get me to go to Austin when my son when we moved to Seguin and I left Cibolo Steel, and they said you got to go to Austin to appeal because Steel says you left for athletic purposes. I said I ain't going to Austin. He said no, you got to appeal it. I said I ain't gonna appeal that. You gonna lose. I ain't going up there to lose. I'm a winner. I ain't save my $100, take Jimmy Hicks and Lupe Nunez out to get a drink. I ain't doing that.
Hey, hold on. You gonna need more than $100 with them two.
Not when I got Lupe, because I put my first 100 and I'll let Lupe put 300.
That's a smart man right there.
Hey,
that's a smart man right there.
Speaking of last week, you got the IMG shirt on. IMG came to Texas, played at Duncanville, and that game was was I think was it nationally televised? I didn't get a chance to see it. I was working on Saturday.
No.
That wasn't one of the ESPN games.
No, there was college football on Saturdays, but they didn't have it on.
That's right. Those games on Friday or Thursday. Those football games that they do on ESPN, the Geico games. Okay, so IMG comes to town, and a lot of people, expected Duncanville. They're the state runners-up each of the past 2 years. They lost to North Shore High School in the championship game 2 years ago, of course, in historic, legendary, memorable fashion. Now, IMG came in town. It was a pretty close game. I think 17-7 at halftime. IMG was up. And then Duncanville IMG just put on the gas in the second half. You gave me 21 points. No, you offered me 20. I said I need 21.
I offered you 20.
I said I need 21. I took the 21 points from you and Duncanville. Mind you, DFW that's watching, I was rolling with Texas when we going against the country, as I always do. A lot of people don't know that. I'm riding. I say, what you want to do? What you want to do? You name it, the bottle. I want to get you. I want you to crack one open. So the game in the closing moments, tell us what the score was and how it went down and who ended up winning and how that bet. And in the closing moments of IMG and Duncanville, which IMG won the game. But tell us about it. You remember?
It was 34-14 late in the game, and I had some buddies in the game, parents that I know very well. Of course, wealthy parents, they get, they pay their cell phone bills. So I'm texting them, they text me back and stuff. I'm like 34-14. Duncanville would not change film with IMG. They would not give them any film. And that's kind of unethical, but you know what? You do what you want to do with your high school coach. You think that's an edge, that's an edge. Well, I heard IMG scored a late touchdown and send them a message. Change film with IMG or we'll spank you a little bit worse. They beat 41-14. I covered my 21-point spread. I got my bottle from you, and I got bragging rights. Because I tell people this. Be careful when you schedule IMG. I don't want to hear this Moby-Doby, they recruit nationally. You knew that before you scheduled. We're going to beat the dog out of you the second half because in football is a different sport. That game is won in the trenches. And when you got them big hogs up front and you got them D linemen with little ankles, high booties, long arms, guess what? They come get you. I heard Duncanville tapped out in the third quarter. They were done. No more. Like Roberto Duran. No more. I'm done. No more.
That's why I wish they would have tried to schedule North Shore. See what happened is they're trying to score the North Shore now, after Shadrach and the Billy gone. You should have got. I wish they got on the North Shore a couple of years ago, boss. I wish that they would have got just what they wanted coming down in H-Town.
Wow. I just know that a lot of people don't understand. High school football is so much fun, but at IMG, it's not fun. It's a business. Like high school basketball is at IMG. It's a business. These guys do this all day, every day. High school kids in North Shore and Duncanville, they go to class first period, second period, third period, got athletics, fourth period, got fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth period. At IMG, you got football from 6 in the morning to noon. At 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you got class from 1 to 5. Then you got dinner, then you got meetings, film, tutoring, and start again the next day. It's a way of life. It's not fair. People don't understand. It's not about we're better than you, you're better than us. It's not the same level playing field.
Okay.
So it's just people don't understand that, man. I bet IMG. I mean, hey, we have been beat before. So Modern Day beat us 2 years ago in LA. We went to LA and got beat by Modern Day, but we beat Modern Day was a very good team. But they had 5 refs from California.
No. I want to hear about no. I want to hear about no refs now. CJ, you had me until you got that. You start talking like a daddy ball now. We don't talk about the refs now.
So, anyways, we got beat.
All right.
But last year we got stomped by St. Francis in Pennsylvania, another recruiting school. They were just bigger and more fit. They stomped us. They beat us 40-10, or they beat the.
Hold on. So evidently, St. Francis, they do it another way too. And in modern day. Oh, okay. I got you.
They had better horses. They had better horses in the style than we did.
How is that? Y'all got the best horses money can buy.
No, they're everywhere. People don't understand. Like in basketball, y'all got it everywhere. They're everywhere in football.
Okay.
These type A alpha dogs, they're dogs. And they all bite.
I got a question, Coach. What positions on the field? It might be a trick word. What positions on the field from your recruiting in high school football directly equate? If you got the better guys at this spot, we're gonna beat y'all. We're gonna tear y'all ass up. What positions?
That's the easiest question ever. Offensive lineman and defensive lineman, brother. It's one up front. It's them hogs. I tell parents this. If you got a big boy that's got measurables, call me. I'll get him into school. I'll get him in. Everybody wants big kids. Lupe and I talked about this week. I went to watch Austin and play a basketball tournament. I'm watching Wagner. Yeah, they got all these kids, but they have 2 kids on that basketball team. They're football players. I'm seeing football tight ends and offensive tackles walk around that gym. There's so many big guys. Everybody wants big boys. You can't teach height, you can't teach weight, and you can't teach the dog. You got to have dog in you. And if you got that dog in you and you bite, I want you.
I forgot, Jimmy. I couldn't hear you that good. What was the name of that bottle that Jimmy had to get you? What's the name of that bottle? What kind?
Ciroc.
Oh!
No, it wasn't a special. It wasn't no any kind of Ciroc. It was some type of special Ciroc.
That's what he drank.
Pineapple.
You got to go to about 5 different stores before you find that one on the shelf.
Jimmy, you like this certain kind of Crown? I mean, man, that's regular Crown. That's how he telling folks. Man, no. Give me Top Chef Crown.
That's what he told me.
That's what he had to go get. That's what he had to go get.
I would have got to go get it if Staples would have changed film. But since getting to trade film, see ya.
And so I want to add a correction. Of course, shout out to Coach Jimmy Duffer, the longtime the retired high school coach, took Milby to the state championship in 2004. Jawan McClellan, Larry Pose, and all those guys. Coach Duffer is recovering. Had a mild heart attack recently. I want to give Coach Duffer, let us know we're glad to see you on the Chop Shop with us in the Boom Boom Room.
Oh, what's up, Coach?
Guess what, man? We love you, Coach Duff. Duff was one of the real ones in the college and high school coaching ranks, and he added something. Want to give a correction to those who were listening earlier about the DEC committee, the District Executive Committee. Okay. Technically, it's composed of the principals of the schools. Right. Okay. However, most principals will delegate that authority to one of their coaches to represent them. That's why you see sometimes you see a coach. And so it's technically it's the principals, but a lot of times principals do go. A lot of times they don't.
So you're telling me the guy had a mild heart attack, but he still got his mind. Sharp brother.
Yeah. Good, Coach. Yeah, I like that.
Thanks for correcting me.
And then also want to clarify to you guys, because somehow I'm reading some of the comments and you're feeling like this is not an anti-UIL, anti-tax conversation. If the views and opinions of a guest does not reflect, understand, and we mentioned this earlier, just because Robert Hatter is pro legacy doesn't mean whatsoever that he's anti-UIL.
Oh no.
So guess what? Just because, so that's understanding, and so we want to get that understanding. This is not a beat up session on them. This is a guy a parent who found a solution.
That's right.
To what was a problem in his household. That was he felt his son was better, and a lot of parents go through the same thing. They feel their parent is better. And I'm going to tear your ass up on them in just a second. Watch this, CJ.
Hey, CJ. It ain't CJ. We picking for the NFL picks this weekend. Okay.
Oh, really? Y'all picking?
Yeah, we go alternate. We alternate going back and forth.
CJ. I'm right now. I'm down big right now.
I ain't gonna even say it, CJ.
I'm 1-4. I'm 1-4, CJ. Get what? I'm 1-4.
He like the Dallas Cowboys right now.
I got plenty of time to go to the weekend. I reverse the course right now. Watch this right here, CJ.
You sound like a true gambler.
Now get what?
Write it down.
Here we go.
Listen to you.
Here we go.
Y'all ready? I go first this time. I go first.
We take the punch or we give the punch.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is the NFL pick. Put them on the screen so they can see. Hold up so they can see what it is.
Okay, hold up, man. See, you're putting me to work. Hold on.
Give me a second.
Y'all keep talking. Let me figure out how to make this thing happen right quick.
Give them your hashtags so they can follow you on your website again, CJ.
Yeah, if you can put it on the screen, that'd be good. It's at CJ Recruiting 1 on Twitter.
Jimmy, do that, Jimmy, right quick while I'm doing this.
At CJ Recruiting 1 on Twitter, or www.cjrecruiting.com.
All right, let me
www.cjrecruiting.com.
I know you can spell recruiting because you big time over there in H-Town.
Oh, he can spell. Yo, no, he can't. He can add.
Say,
yeah.
I won the school spelling bee.
There you go. My bad.
I mean,
everybody was absent that day. Everybody was absent but him.
What school, Jimmy?
At Dora B. Landtrip. That was in the college school. When I was in elementary, I was kind of special, CJ.
Did you say cosmetology school? Wait a minute. Did you say cosmetology school?
I say ecology.
I know what you said, but I said cosmopolitan.
And then in the 5th grade, the college wasn't. I was too cold then because I was back then. I would win everything on field day and all that stuff. So they had to get me up out of it. I had tested into and got accepted into River Oaks Elementary. River Oaks Elementary is right on San Felipe, and that was a Vanguard, one of the 2 most prestigious Vanguard schools in the whole city of Houston during that time. back in those early 80s. I mean, those late 70s, early 80s.
And you still was acting up in school.
But understand, that's at that school is when I realized that it's a whole bunch of black folk that's smart as hell. I really thought that I seriously believe that. That before I got to River Oaks Elementary, there we go. There go those pigs. Take a look at those guys real close. Let's do this thing real quick.
I'm ready.
CJ, watch this right here.
Okay. Houston at Tennessee. You know what? I can't bet against Romeo Cannell. I'm gonna take Houston, and you're gonna give me 3 points. I'll take that.
I'm getting you 3 points. You got the 3. I got Tennessee. Tennessee undefeated. You know that, right?
I don't care if the Mammoth's undefeated, but keep going.
Okay. Keep on. You saw that Frank Kane, how he ran over that boy the other day. You saw that boy running back. You saw he mushed him.
Oh my goodness! Yes.
Get the hell up out of here. And well, that was some Rosewood Park stuff right there. Next up, Cleveland at Pittsburgh. Damn, Pittsburgh only giving up 3. I'm taking the Pittsburgh. You can take that 3. I got Pittsburgh.
Oh man, I don't like to bet against Pittsburgh, but I'll take it. All right, the next one.
Something happened in Pittsburgh.
Okay, come on.
Next up, Detroit and Jacksonville.
I'm gonna go. Detroit getting up points. You know what? I'm gonna go with Detroit.
I'll take Jacksonville.
Okay. Come on, Jim.
Jacksonville covered last week, didn't it?
Yeah, but that's all right.
Chicago at Carolina. Carolina giving up 1.5.
Okay, what you got?
You know what? I'm gonna take that 1.5.
Oh,
I'm taking Chi-Town.
You gonna take Chi-Town? Okay, I'll take Teddy Bridgewater.
I'm taking Chi-Town.
Okay, Atlanta, Minnesota. Oh my goodness, man! I'm not never betting with Atlanta. I'm going with Minnesota.
Man, don't give me. I don't want the Dirty Birds. You know what they do to win?
They do.
You know what? They're gonna be like the Texans this week. They got a new coach, new GM. They can't. You know what? They're gonna play. They're gonna win this one for the Gipper.
0.
That's what they gonna do. I got it now.
0.
Cincinnati and Indy. Indy giving up 7.5.
What you got?
Damn. You know what? I'm gonna take little LSU. I'm gonna take little LSU.
No, let me have LSU. Damn. I got Indy. I got crazy Phillip Rivers. Okay, Denver at New England. You already know. Anytime New England plays CJ, with my dude playing, I don't care. I'm going with my dude.
I'll take that 10.
I'm going with Tight Bridges.
You taking Big Cam? You taking Big Cam?
Yes, sir. Huh? We call Jimmy. Get what Jimmy called him, CJ. He called him Tight Bridges. Tight Bridges, because he wasn't paying so tight.
He wear them tight now. He wear them tight. He can do that when he's 6'250. You can do whatever the hell you want to
do.
Yeah,
that's right. Come on, Jimmy. What you got?
The next one, CJ, I'm going to need a little help from you on this one.
Oh, my goodness.
Washington at the Giants. This is the worst game of the season. The Washington at the Giants, and the Giants are giving up 3.
Man, that's a toilet bowl. If I've ever heard one, I take the damn Giants because Washington don't have no identity. None.
Okay. I'm going to take the Giants on that one.
Hey, man, I don't like that, CJ. Hey, Jimmy, we got somebody. You know, our town critic is on there talking about the 4 positive tests in Atlanta. We still got to make the picks in case they play the game again. We still got to make the picks. Yeah. Come on, fellas. Yeah, follow what we're doing, man. Come on back. Don't be so earthly, heavily minded that you ain't no earthly good. Come on back down to earth. Okay, let's the next one, Jimmy. Oh, Baltimore.
The next one is Baltimore at Philly.
You know Baltimore I'm going with my boy. You know I ain't betting against Lamar. You got to be out your mind.
You give me Philly in 7.5?
I'm going to give you whatever you need. You need some more? You need some more? Huh?
Man, you know, Philly, they record look like they horrible, but they really not that bad.
Okay.
They 1-3-1.
Don't worry about it.
They really not that bad.
On to the next pick, boss.
The Jets at Miami. Ooh.
Ouch. Let me have Miami, Jimmy, please. Miami.
I took Miami last week on that 49er game. They covered. You know what? Chris Kringle is playing to save his job. I'm going to take Chris Kringle ass again. Guess what? Because he ain't got nothing to lose. I got Miami. You take that ass.
Jimmy, I'm going to give you this game if you win or not. You know why? I'm never betting with the Jets ever. Woody, that
win
dude,
that one
Woody
already,
Johnson, I ain't never betting for him. You know what I'm talking about, CJ.
I win that one already, you said?
Okay. Green Bay and Tampa. Oh my God.
Bring it on. Bring it on.
Of the day.
We don't even need no line on that one, do you? We don't even need no line on that. It don't even make no sense. Don't even worry about the line.
I go, hey, CJ, I'll tell you later when we off air. I got to vote for Tom. I got to go with Tom.
I got to go with Todd Bowles. I got to go with my boy Todd Bowles, one of my best friends.
Okay. I got to go with Tom, man. Tom, hey, I don't want some Super Bowls with Tom before.
There you go. Oh, and I know you did. I know you did. He's
okay, let's go. Come on. Hey, come on, Jimmy.
Hey, a couple of weeks ago, he bet against Discount Double Check when he was down in New Orleans. He tore that ass up. I did. Keep on betting against this. Hey, I'm gonna mess around and change my insurance over. You win this one right here. I'm gonna call my agent and say, look here, you got these last 2 months of this. But when I did it, and get it up at the end of the year, I'm gone taking my ass over to Discount Double Check. That's what I'm gonna do. He wins right. I swear I'm going over there to the other side. Last but not least, we have the Rams at Frisco. That's a Sunday night game. The Rams at Frisco. The Frisco was embarrassing last week.
Yep.
Garoppolo is back. Oh man, what you think on that one, CJ?
Honestly, I got to go with the Rams. San Francisco is probably everybody thinks is a better team, but the Rams are very, very talented. I think their quarterback very good. San Francisco's having problems. You lose to Miami, you got problems. So I'm sorry, Hatter, but I got to go with the Rams.
Don't tell him, man. I didn't want you to tell him that. I didn't want you to tell it.
They like to get beat by 30.
The Rams, they got that boy that punt the ball, the knuckle, they go 50 yards downfield. The one that punted, that punter, that put it wherever you want to put it at.
You can do whatever you want to do.
Jim,
they may not punt.
Jimmy, you know I like the Rams, man. Don't do me like that. You know I like the Rams.
You know what I do. I'll give you the Ram next week.
You owe me one from the last time, man. All right, I take San Francisco. All right.
That's what I do this week.
I like that.
So
thank you, CJ.
Before we can land the plane, I want to ask you something, a topic that we didn't get into. And that is, speaking of, we talking about Falcons got a couple positives and a couple of other teams in the NFL as well. They've modified the schedule. But the college ranks, how about Nick Saban and the athletic director? They got positive tests. Florida just canceled the game versus LSU. Now the SEC, who was on the front line of let's play some football, they are seeing themselves having to make adjustments. What's going on with these positives, and what's going to happen?
Well, Jimmy, I had the virus in Father's Day weekend in late June, so I can speak from experience. It is horrible, and I know everybody's taking precautions for it. But I think eventually everybody's going to get it. Everybody's going to get it in a different manner. I think Nick Saban is 68 years old. I'm sure he was careful in everything he did. I'm sure Coach Saban did not take anything for granted, being around kids every day. I'm sure the athletic director, whatever his name is, he's got it also. It's just something that's going to take its course. Everybody's going to get it. You want to hurry up and get it before football season or after football season. But when you get during the season, you just got to quarantine. And, I hope Coach Saban is okay. We met him when he recruited Legend. He's a good man. And I hope he gets better soon. But this virus, everybody's going to get it. I think the only way to control this virus is what the NBA did and the WNBA. I think they're the only ones that they went into a bubble, that this is what we're going to do. And they were basically 100%. Anybody that's not quarantining everybody, it's going to be very difficult. So, we just tell our kids to be careful in everything they do. Tell my son to be careful. I travel a lot. And I'm careful. I had a COVID test yesterday because I'm going to Ohio State next weekend. And I just want to make sure nobody is around my son that has a chance to be positive. I didn't think I was positive, but I travel a lot. And I just wanted to make sure. So I think it's going to take its course, Jimmy. Everybody's going to get it. And they just got to everybody has to be ready to adjust. I know NFL teams have done well with adjusting, but everybody's just got to be careful. This is a different time that we live in, and it's just something that's got to take its course. That's what I believe.
And man, you know what, CJ? Guess what? This was a great convo.
Great job, man.
Good nugget. Great testimony you gave. We didn't know that you had caught tested positive for the COVID, and that's a testimony within itself because a lot of people have different experiences with it. But we want to thank you. Now, your son is looking forward. I can tell you one thing for certain: the Chop Shop will be watching when Ohio State plays. Give us the info when they play again. What's the number? What's your son's jersey number? So we'll know, and tell us his classification because a lot of people just ask. So somebody, I think, Odyssey just asked, is he still there? So let us know what he's classified as, what position he plays, and also when is the next game for Ohio State, as you eloquently told them earlier.
His name is Legend Cavazos. Let me tell you a quick story about Legend. I coached at Dallas Carter, like I said earlier. Both of y'all know who I named my son after. Both of y'all know Rob Wright, old school Rob Wright from Carter, used to coach grassroots basketball in Dallas.
Yeah.
His son is named Legend. He's a basketball coach too, I think, right?
Oh.
I named my son, I spelled it differently, but I love the name. I asked Rob for permission. Rob gave me permission back in the day, and I named my son Legend also. I just spelled it L-E-J-O-N-D. Legend is number 4.
Okay, L-E-J-O-N-D. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Legend he's number 4 at Ohio State. He's a cornerback, and he's kind of dinged up right now, so he probably won't play week 1, but we hope to get him week 2 or 3 against Penn State. So we'll see what happens. He's ready to go whenever he's ready.
All right.
So Penn State is the date you're expecting him, you're saying?
No.
Yes, but next week we open up at home against Nebraska. I don't think he'll play next week, but I expect him to play Halloween weekend, probably a big ABC night game against Penn State, God willing. If not, he'll be ready week 3.
Is that on the road?
It's all a process.
Is that on the road?
On the road at Penn State, yes, sir.
Ooh,
yes, sir.
Death Valley. I've been there.
Well, man, you don't send your kid to Ohio State to not be ready to play them big games, baby. We gonna be ready. He IMG ready, baby. The G.
Tell him. I just wanted to be like this one day with a rose in his stepmouth like this, and like Charles did. Yeah, that's what I.
Hey, that's right. So I told Kevin Mons, one of my best friends, his son's a quarterback, Kellen Mond at A&M.
Yes.
I told Kevin this: I want my son to go to a school that has a chance to play for a national championship every year.
Oh, that's him.
That's what I want.
He in the right place.
He's a Buckeye.
He in the right place.
He's a Buckeye.
He in the right place.
And speaking of Mon, you were at the A&M game this past weekend. They played Florida, right?
I was very impressed. You know, Kellen Mond takes a lot of heat being an African-American quarterback at Texas A&M. You know, everybody dogs him and everybody says this and that about it. Let me tell you this. Ain't no quarterback won no game by himself. He needs help. And guess what? Them Aggies finally stood up and helped him. If those guys keep making plays for him, A&M's going to be a team to reckon with. But you can't have 5 or 6 drops in a game. And you can't have 5 offensive linemen play a game that none of them are NFL material. I believe in football is won by a team sport. Ain't no Michael Jordan, LeBron James here, baby.
There you go.
You got to have ballers everywhere. I mean, everybody loved Johnny Manziel. Let me tell you something about Johnny Manziel. He was special, but he had a whole bunch of special players around him, including them hogs up front. 3 of them boys that would block for Johnny are all playing the NFL today. Mike Evans is receiver playing for Tampa Bay. Running back playing the NFL. I mean, these guys were around a lot of talent. That's how you win. You can't win by yourself. And Kellen Mond is a lot of heat in there, and I think it's not right. Aggie fans, come on, man. Give that brother a chance, man. He's special now. He's a good kid. And wait a minute. Where did he go to school? Where did he go to school?
The G. The G.
44-14 IMG versus Duncanville. Covered the spread of 21 points. I got my bottle of Ciroc pineapple. It's been a great day. God bless y'all, baby.
Hey, I'm glad you're proud of your son's school like that, man. I know I'm proud of mine. So I'm glad you're proud of him. Yeah.
No, it makes you a little sweeter when you got Jimmy.
Yeah, man. Thanks a bunch.
Thank y'all very much for having me. I wish y'all the best. Thank y'all very much for having me. I wish y'all the best. God bless and good luck to you all, okay?
All right.
Thanks a bunch. And of course, guys, it's time to slide down Dino's back and yabba dabba do this thing on this Baby Friday on the Chop Shop. Make sure you share the show to your timelines, to your friends, to your groups, whatnot. This is our new page. Week number 1 is complete on our new Facebook page. Remember, guys, it's spelled similar, but not the same. Chop Shop Htx. Htx. Chop Shop Htx is that new one if you just want to search it. That's the way you search it. But let some of your friends know that the Chop Shop is still kicking. And once again, we're back with a lot of guests. We have more news on this Houston Rocket move with Daryl Morey stepping aside or being vacated from his general manager position. Don't get this stuff twisted. Nobody leaves a job like that voluntarily. I'm sorry.
$6 million a year. $6 million a year.
You can read the press clippings as you want and try to believe what you want. Just make sure you read the author and you can connect dots on that. Also, we'll come back on Monday with more on this stuff that's going on with Melo Ball has signed with Puma. We had LeVar Ball last week, and I'm paying attention to the articles that have been written. And I will have a comment from LeVar Ball about his son, because LeVar Ball, if you go back and watch that show, he hinted to us on the show that his son was had the leeway to sign whatever they wanted.
Puma. He said that,
and he been on the Chop Shop. And so once again, you go back and watch last week's show. Now it's coming out and they're slam dunking it, making it seem as though that the son has that this business is a flop already out the gates. They don't have no idea, no clue. Maybe they need to go watch the Chop Shop from last week and understand what the new Big Baller brand is attempting to do and how they're attempting to reintroduce themselves to the world. And it ain't where other people are waiting on them at. It's where people that can cover them that aren't tainted like some of those people over there that are sitting there and just blasting the guy and the dad already. They have no clue what's coming. Guess what? Same people gonna be kissing their asses for interviews on draft night. And guess what's gonna happen? Chop Shop gonna have some stuff for you guys right out of the spot. Now we've been guaranteed that. Now it might not be the first, we'll be right there. But once again, thanks so much for everybody for tuning in. We got to get up out of here. Got a big weekend. You guys be safe. More importantly, get your ass out there and vote.
Oh, yes, sir.
Peace.
Here I go, Jimmy. I got you. Bang.
Jim Hicks. Rob Hatter. You are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop, we live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk, we live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop, I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop, we live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk, we live in the Chop Shop.